Hi everybody, I wanted to jump on here really quickly and talk about Will Smith and his alleged lover Duane Martin and how this is just another layer of mess in the complicated marriage of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. I mean, we already have heard enough with Jada Pinkett going around promoting her book Worthy. It's like we've been punished the entire 2 weeks she's been on tour promoting this book. I mean, we've heard all kind of stuff. It's almost like we don't have room for another scandal, but there's another scandal going on. Because fans feel like the gay lover is the reason Will won't get out of that crazy marriage. In other words, this is something that he does not want the public to know. So let's get into it. Now, for those of you that don't know who Duane Martin is, he's an actor, film producer, screenwriter, and a real estate entrepreneur. Now, his ex-wife, Tisha Campbell, well, she would describe him a lot different. According to her, Duane is a lazy liar that wants everyone to believe he has a job, but he doesn't. Now, we'll get into that a little later. Now, let's go back to the year 1993, when his good friend Duane Martin and his wife, Tisha Campbell, introduced a married Will Smith to Jada Pinkett. And they all become really good friends. Around that same time, Will was shooting a movie called 6 Degrees of Separation. And in this movie, Will's character is supposed to kiss another man. However, Will Smith refused to do it. He said kissing another man, even on the screen, would kill his rap career.
Smith's explanation didn't fly with actor Ian McKellen, who wrote on his website, "Will's twinge of homophobia was unseemly and unnecessary."
Now, Will's actions may seem somewhat homophobic on camera, but offset, things for him and Jada were really heating up. According to the rumors, this is when Will and Jada became swingers. They would throw these parties in which other couples will come over, and then they just all got busy, and you know what I mean. Now, Duane and Tisha, they were not involved in the swinging action that Will and Jada had going on. But get this, according to the rumors, it was Duane who was responsible for meeting the couples and bringing them in. And then at some point, having different couples for Will and Jada, well, that just wasn't enough. They began to have same-sex partners. And you know who was responsible for bringing in the same-sex partners? It was Duane. Now, allegedly, this is when Duane began hooking up with Will himself. Just like the saying goes, I'm not just the client, I'm the president. I mean, things really start heating up for Duane, and I'm not just talking in the bedroom, I'm talking about career-wise. He went from being a bit small role player in Hollywood to being a full-on producer. He produced a movie called Ride or Die, starring Vivica Fox. And who was the co-producer on the movie? You've got it, Will Smith's production company called Overbrook Entertainment. Then they produced another movie together called Mother's Day. And when Will was overbooked and couldn't take on another movie, well, he just introduced him to another producer. Now, his biggest role to date is a sitcom called All of Us. And we all know at this point who produced it. Of course, it was Will Smith. And as his career was growing, so were the rumors. It was an unhidden, spoken secret in Hollywood that Will Smith was hooking up with Duane Martin. And Jada knew about it. It really seemed like Duane was a busy man, so I don't know how he had time to put together adult parties for the Prime Minister of Turks and Caicos, also Lisa Ray's husband, Michael Music.
To be quite honest, then he became friends with Duane Martin. And when I introduced them, that was one of the worst things I ever did. Somehow within that relationship, I lost my husband to Duane Martin. He became disrespectful with introducing my husband to different women, and women that we actually knew as friends and associates.
Now, the rumor is, while all this was going on, Tisha Campbell had no idea about these adult entertainment parties. But eventually, she found out what was going on. Let's fast forward to 2016, when Tisha Campbell was on a show called My Wife and Kids with Damon Wayans. She feels that her show isn't going to get picked up for another season, and she knows that Duane had a couple of bad investments, so she starts playing around with the numbers and realizes they're in debt. He tells her, don't worry about it. Things will work out just fine. She doesn't listen to him. She goes to a bankruptcy attorney, and that's when all hell breaks loose. He finally breaks down and tells her that Will Smith has been covering the bills. Not only that, he's gay, and he's been hooking up with you-know-who, Will Smith. According to the rumors, Tisha's pissed because he could have told her a long time ago, and he chose not to. Therefore, according to Tisha, their marriage was based off of a lie. So days later, she files for a divorce.
This news devastated Tisha. It was the biggest shock of my life, the actress says. I've heard women say they didn't know their man was gay or bi, and I wondered how they didn't know. But I really didn't have a clue.
So now, Tisha and Duane, they're going through bankruptcy and a divorce. And according to Tisha, this is when Duane began hiding assets. She believes he began to hide any gifts that Will Smith may have given him, like expensive cars, jewelry, even money, all the way down to their home. According to public records, Duane sells the house to a company called Rokes LLC. And he did this because he didn't want the home to be an asset to Tisha. But after selling the home, he quietly goes back and gets $1.4 million from Will Smith and buys the home again. So now Tisha can't claim the home as an asset because it was purchased in his own name. However, Tisha gets wind of what he's doing and she reports it to the bankruptcy judge.
Will Smith has turned over financial records and personal email communications between him and his longtime friend Duane Martin after being subpoenaed by a bankruptcy trustee presiding over Duane Martin's case. The trustee is attempting to build their case against Martin, who they accuse of hiding assets in his bankruptcy. They believe the communications with Will Smith may prove their point. The trustee explains that Smith has turned over email chains between him, his rep, and Martin from 2018, where they discussed the $1.4 million loan that Will and Jada Pinkett Smith provided Duane several years back to purchase the home at the center of the lawsuit.
For the sake of her sanity and her children, Tisha walked away from the lawsuit. All she wanted was a divorce. In layman's term, she walked away from that relationship with no money.
Your marriage when your marriage broke up, and you got nothing.
Nothing. No one knows that, but I had nothing. Nothing. In the bank, nothing. I had maybe $7 to my name, and I was scared. It was like I was starting all over.
Tisha did just that with the support of her two sons, 19-year-old Zen and 11-year-old Ezekiel.
The fact that I did raise children who didn't care about the big mansion that I had, or that we had to start over, or any of it. Oh God, I'm not supposed to do this here. Starting over is not always the easiest thing, but it is a necessary thing. It is a beautiful devastation.
Will you be ready to date again?
No.
Why not?
Hell no.
No, come on.
I'm the happiest I've ever been, and I don't want a relationship, so don't ask me that no more.
So do you believe that Will Smith and Duane Martin were lovers? And if so, is this the dirty secret that Jada holds over his head because he will do anything for the public not to find out?